Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Introduce yourself.
Sir, my name is Madhav Manish. I am born and brought up in Patna, Bihar. I have completed my BTech from IIT Patna in 2021, and currently I am working as an air traffic control officer in Airports Authority of India. And currently I am in Prayagraj.
Okay. Your name is Madhav Manish.
Yes, ma'am.
What is the meaning of your name?
Ma'am, Madhav was a name of Lord Krishna, and it also stands for husband of Lord goddess Lakshmi, that is Madhav. And Manish stands for a very learned person, a very learned rishi at our earlier times. So that two name I have, Madhav and Manish.
Okay. So Madhav is also known as Banke Bihari. You are from
Yes,
Bihar.
sir. Yes.
Right. Is there any connection? Why is Madhav called as Banke Bihari? Is there any connection with the Bihar state?
Ma'am, if I am correct, then Jarasandh was king of Magad region, that is in the present day Bihar, the Magad region, and he is also known to attack him multiple times, Jarasandh, and through his tactics also he is able to defeat him, not by himself but by using Lord Bhima. And sir, ma'am, this connection I am able to identify, and also in the Braj region, that is in UP, there is a connection of, although he himself is the king of Dwarka region, but in the Vrindavan also it is his maternal home, if I am correct.
Okay. So you did your graduation from IIT Patna.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. And your CGPA is also very good.
Yes, ma'am.
So why have you opted this civil services? Means having passed out from such a renowned institution and having such a good CGPA, you could have gone somewhere else. Why you have opted this civil services?
Ma'am, it was during my college day also that I have tried in the technical field, and I have done a couple of projects also. And during my college time also, I got inspired from many of the efforts taken by some of the famous bureaucrats from Bihar only, and even they are also coming to give up guest lectures. And also some of our seniors are also very motivated to tell about what are the efforts that the civil servant are taking. And I came to know that here I have a wider scope and I can work in diverse field, and also my interest lies in agriculture and rural development area, that I am very connected to it, and I think in civil services I will able to realize my interest better.
Okay. You have told earlier that your hobby is related to forest and wildlife
Yes,
area.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So how come this hobby you have developed?
Ma'am, actually I am an animal lover. From childhood also I am an animal lover, and I am also in the childhood also I watch Discovery channels very much, but at that time I'm not able to explore the Indian wildlife and Indian forestry. But as I grew up, I explored the Indian forestry and Indian wildlife also. I watched many videos of them and realized that India is also very rich in this aspect. It is a mega diverse country, and with this interest and in the UPSC journey also, due to the wider study it provided, I have developed an interest in forest and wildlife, and I used to watch multiple videos and study about them very much.
Okay, so are you also trying for Indian Forest Services and State Forest Services also?
Yes, ma'am. I have written the mains exam of Indian Forest Services.
Very nice.
Yes, ma'am. I am trying for it because it is my interest also, but the result is still awaited. And but currently I am also focusing on being a civil servant, because it also provides a diverse opportunity.
Your optional is mathematics.
Yes, ma'am.
So how mathematics is useful in public policy?
Ma'am, in a designing a policy, we have to take multiple datas, and that data, if we able to analyze them using some mathematical tools, and if we are identified that what are the hotspot area and what are the population that require the major attention, then we can design those policy very much. So ma'am, also there are different subjects in mathematics which are used for the optimization of resources we have, and those resources, if we are able to optimize, because in every government we have limited resource, whether they are human resource or financial resources, if we are able to optimize them using the mathematics, then it will be good for the administration.
Very nice. So analytical ability can also be used in civil services?
Yes ma'am. Ma'am, it is very necessary. Ma'am, because in the main role of a civil servant is a decision making role, and if he is able to analyze those conditions and problems very much, then their action will be very effective, and there can be very positive outcome from this.
Very good. Okay Madhav, recently there was a caste census in Bihar.
Yes ma'am.
Tell me about it. What is census? Firstly explain. Then what is caste census? How both are different?
Now, census is the counting of the all population, and it is conducted every 10 years. For example, started in 1871, 1881, and currently in the 2021. Due to delay in Corona, we are also conducting the current census. But the caste census is enumerating the household based on the caste that it associate. Also, the subcaste or other. What they associate with them, they get enumerated. For example, in the recent conducted caste census, it was it is the output that there are more number of backward castes that are in the Bihar, and for them also government has come up with affirmation policies of giving them around 65% reservation with the new bill in the Bihar, and I think this data will provide them the required reasoning that Supreme Court has also said that if you have a data, then only you can provide this reservation. This data will provide them a reasoning that how effective policies can be made, and whom we are targeting.
What do you think? Means how far this caste census is good for society? Give your opinion.
Ma'am, there are certain negatives that I also try to ma'am, due to this there are certain cleavages in the society being developed, a divide that maybe some affirmative action are not taken for the upper caste, they will also feel isolated, and that cleavages may create hatred among society, and that is a one aspect. And also there can be some challenges in correcting the data itself. For example, there are certain administrative challenges that how can a person associate with a caste, because there are many castes in Bihar, and whether they are associating with themselves as which caste, and there are many sub-castes and many gotras in them, how they are associating with them. So there are this data, it can also be not 100% correct. These are other challenges, and that community divide that I have said, and also the affirmative actions that has been taken may not be good in long term, because it will deny the meritocracy. The meritocracy is denied, and that is the also negative part of that. But in the positive part, we have a data that is not very I will say very inaccurate, and that data can be used instead of giving reservation. With the data, this reservation can be made more effective, as said by the Supreme Court also.
Do you know about NIRF?
Yes ma'am, it stands for National Institutional Ranking Framework, and it rank IITs, NITs and other institutions.
So in 2023, what was the rank of your college, IIT Patna?
Ma'am, actually it degraded. Earlier it was 23, and now it is around 30 rank. It has degraded. Ma'am, when I was in the college, it also climbed to reach the 10th spot among the IITs and among all the technological institutions.
Okay. Okay, Madhav, recently it was in news that in UPSC, or we can say in overall civil services, many engineers are being selected. And there's concern in government that why so many engineers are getting selected in civil services examination. So what do you think about it?
Ma'am, the data that you are seeing, that around 64% are engineers are there as per the UPSC own data, and I think there are positive also, because that engineers may bring some new type of working or new innovation. For example, I am also seeing that there are many engineers from BTech or from other colleges than IIT that are bringing such type of innovation which may be not possible for other stream. For example, making all those administration work open, and it can be availed by anyone in the public domain. That type of transparency and accountability that they are bringing, so that the accountability of them towards the people will increase. And also there are use of many technologies like GPS, AI, and they are automation and data analysis which they are bringing. I think this will help the administration to basically channelize their skills in the government also.
Very good.
So Madhav, your date of birth is 5th of February 2000, right?
Yes, sir.
What is the events, how many events on 5th of February 2000? Is there any event you know?
Sir, I also watch sometime football, and it is the birthday of Ronaldo, that 5th of February. 5th February. And sir, it is also associated with wildlife. So not the 5th February day, but 2nd and 3rd February is the World Wildlife Day, and is the World Wetland Day in 2nd and 3rd February. But in 5th February I am not able to recall any wildlife event.
And why do we use prefix 68 VPSP? It's a normal questions.
Yes, sir. Sir, it is the number, what number exam it is conducting. For example, earlier it was 67th, and in this way, after independence, what number of exam it is conducting, and it also conducts some combined examination. For example, earlier 50 to 56 got combined due to the vacancies it received from the department. So I'm not 100% sure, but in my opinion it is after the creation of the BPSC what number of combined examination it is conducting for other different posts in the state government.
And what post you are opting for this particular services?
Sir, starting from Bihar Police Services, there are Bihar Financial Services, and there are Bihar Registration Services and Bihar Education Services. These are the first 4 preferences of mine.
And how the BPSC is different from UPSC civil services? You have given all
Yes.
examination, I think.
Sir, in the examination process wise, it also requires some knowledge of state, some factual knowledges and other schemes related to the state that are also asked in the preliminary as well as mains examination. But sir, the current that I have given, the 68th, it got streamlined with the UPSC processes, because it also has asked the current affair questions, and in the GS it also introduced the essay for the first time. Earlier essay was not introduced in BPSC, it introduced essay for the first time, and also the GS part has been more analytical. For example, the pattern was changed such that more current affair questions are being asked instead of some same type of historical questions that earlier being asked. So it also reformed itself, and the cycle is also reformed, because earlier it was known for conducting a very delayed exam, but now it is also improved. In 1 year also, I think 2 exams it has conducted. That is the accuracy of.
You are currently in Dhyan IS, and this institution is really connected with Buddha.
Yes.
Bhagwan Buddha.
Yes, sir.
How Buddha is connecting with like Bihar state?
So the nirvana that it got in the under the Bodhi tree, which is in in the Bodh Gaya, and it is also known. It is also, the Bihar is also known for the many works of Buddhas. For example, it roamed from one place to another place, and also not only Buddha, Mahavira is also born, is also got Nirvana here, and not only the Nirvana aspect, the other aspect also that Lord Buddha has learned from here, and due to being born in the neighboring country like Lumini, Nepal, and also in Sarnath and Kushinagar area, it has spent most of its time in Bihar region.
What is Nirvana?
Sir, Nirvana is enlightenment, and when you are able to dissociate yourself from this worldly materialistic life, and associate yourself more with the God, or the Almighty, that it is the nirvana. Sorry, sir.
Generally, we seems like heard the name like a word solitude, and must have heard about loneliness. How both are different, solitude and loneliness?
Sir, solitude is our own. We have accepted that loneliness when we are sad about it, and we are not accepting that, and it is due to external factor we are lonely. That no one. But solitude, that you are lonely, but you are accepting that truth, and yourself has decided to remain lonely and away from all other materialistic world. That is solitude.
Recently, we have hosted G20, right?
Yes.
What is the importance, impact, background, and the upcoming challenges in it?
Sir, the impact was good for India because it makes India as a global leader in different fields. For example, we have also highlighted the world about the climate change event and also the global economic crisis. And sir, in the Africa is also included in it, and we made us G21, so that the leader of global South, India is portrayed very much. And also we have initiated the reform in the global financial architecture, that is World Bank and IMF. That is good, and because of the growth rate of India that we are because yesterday also we are witnessing 7.3% growth, and this has given a hope to the world that still there is no global recession, and there are certain countries which are growing at a good rate. And sir, future it will give India as a platform to host more such events in future, and it will improve the global architecture of India.
Okay, Madhav, tell me something about history of Patna.
Ma'am, ancient history, it was known as Patliputra, and the Lord. Ma'am, it was earlier called Patligram, because Patli was in the Mauryan kingdom. The mother of a king, which has gifted that to his son, Patligram, and it was made as a first capital in the Mauryan time. And it was the famous Ashoka Rajput region has been established by the Lord Ashoka itself, and later there are different names came. For example, Azimabad was also named during Mughal times, and now when the Britishers came here, and the earlier was the Dutch to set up their factories, and then Britishers set up their factories, and the name Patna came. And in the modern times it is also known for a destination of education, because we have Patna University, which was opened in 1921. It was a very famous institution at that time, and it is also a place for Sikhism, because the Gurudwara Harband Sahib was also located here in the Patna itself.
There's a word niche.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me something about it.
Ma'am, a niche is the function which is associated with every individual. For example, every individual has a role to in the ecosystem, the niche of that individual, and that niche cannot be substituted with any. For example, if any individual is basically removed from that ecosystem, then that ecological niche will be very difficult to be adopted.
What is tiger conservation program?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, the government, due to the declining rate of tiger population, government has come up with this Project Tiger. Our Prime Minister Indira Gandhi has came with this, and setting up many tiger reserve, and also NTCA, that is National Tiger Conservation Authority, as the apex body, and it was responsible for conserving the tiger. And now we are seeing that the population has increased around. We are now 2,800 tigers now, which was reduced to around 1,000 and 1,400, and now the population has also increased. And here we create the tiger reserve, and we restrict entry of other individual, and also we stop the poaching of the tigers, which are done for their paws and teeth and other parts for the other medicinal and other purposes.
Okay. Do you know keystone species?
Yes, ma'am.
What are keystone species?
Ma'am, for any ecosystem to exist, this keystone species, for example, tiger is also a keystone species, and it provides the stability. For example, if tiger is there, then there will be control of deer population, and that deer population, if controlled, then the grasses or the trees of that areas will able to grow. And if it has basically reduced, if the tiger population has reduced, then there will be deer population will increase, and other trees will get burned out, and ultimately whole ecosystem will die. So it is responsible for the maintenance of whole ecosystem, and it is only the top predators, that is tiger and lion, that they are the keystone species.
What is sustainable development?
Ma'am, sustainable development is using the resources for present generation in such a way that it does not harm the future generation. It is also talk for intergenerational equity. For example, we uses resources in such a manner that it is not get exploited, and the future generation also get as much resources as we are getting. And for this sustainable development, there are 17 SDG goals that UN also come up with.
What are the components of sustainable development?
Ma'am, what I have learned that it include all the aspect of life. I think starting from poverty, women empowerment, education, health, getting justice, all life below water, in the earth. I think all those parts that we live on earth, all are included in sustainable development. And in every aspect, it highlights that how justice can be given to, for example, down-trodden people, how justice structures, for example, bridges, there are culverts, and there are roads constructed in such a way that it provide a green pathway. So in that way it can be connected. If we are passing any highway from a national park, if it can be made a green pathway, that there is a pathway for other elephants and tigers, and there will be a corridor for them. If these are included in the civil engineering aspect, then it will help the conservation of those national park and tiger reserve also.
Ma'am, we talked about sustainable development, right?
Yes, sir.
How sustainable development is connecting with inclusive growth? Adit?
Yes, sir. Sir, inclusive growth about
as Modi ji also takes
yes,
a name like
Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. Yes, sir. Sir, in the inclusive growth aspect, we focus that the resources are distributed such that there will be no concentration of wealth in a single person, and that all regions as well as all people will get those resources, and they will realize their potential. And in sustainable development, we thought about the future generation, but in the inclusive growth, we are talking about the present generation also, that there will be inequality, that inequality must be reduced, and all must get the equal opportunities. And in the sustainable development aspect, we are trying to not create inequality for our future generation, by utilizing resources by the present generation in such a way that the future generation will not get any unequal involvement for them.
And you have opted English medium, right?
Yes, sir.
And you must be having good knowledge over English, I think. Yeah?
Yes, sir.
Then tell me something about what is this?
Sir, this is a pronoun.
Yes. So which pronoun?
So it is demonstrative pronoun. Yeah, this.
Good. You must be heard about the 5-year plan.
Yes, sir.
Must have read it also, and that has changed recently in a Niti Aayog.
Yes, sir.
The full form of Niti Aayog is the National Institute for Transforming India.
Yes, sir.
Why do we need such plans in India?
Sir, earlier we have adopted for a socialist plan, and where through Russia, USSR at that time, we have adopted a 5-year plan, and during our former Prime Minister has also adopted for it, and through 5-year plan we try to plan everything, that what resources if we are creating, how much industries, how much institution will be opened, and how resources will be given to them, and the production is also controlled in that manner. Through planned, we planned for 5 years in every 5-year plan, which also got discontinued by some time. For example, there will be also single year plans. After, when the government is not stable, then that 5-year plan also got changed. But over in the year 2017, when the Niti Aayog is created, then both the National Planning Commission and the 5-year plan has been discontinued, and now we have a focus of 1 year strategy, 3 year strategy, and 7 year strategy that Niti Aayog has also come up with. And now we are not focusing on only 5 year plans, but we are both focusing in micro times, that is 1 year, in 3 year times, in 7 year times, and in 15 year times. And also it has made more institutionalized and regularized. Rather than thinking of 5 year, we are now thinking every day that how we can improve.
You must have heard about rolling plan also.
Yes,
What
sir.
was it?
Sir, rolling plan is when we have not decided, or when there is any change in government, then that rolling plan will continue for other 2 year or 3 year. During the Janata Party government also it came, the rolling plan, when they have not decided for the 5 year plans.
You must have completed your constitutional part, like polity section.
Yes, sir.
What are the differences between polity, governance, and constitution?
Sir, polity is the structure how government are created. For example, whether it be president, prime minister, chief minister, other institution. Governance will be how day-to-day activity will be governed. For example, the administration which I am joining will be part of the governance and how the administration will be done. While the constitution is the document which guides us, and which guides that there will be no concentration of power in one hand, and those rules which are laid down, those rules will be followed. And it also give the peoples their rights, and it also make people the supreme.
Is anywhere mentioned about civil services in the constitution?
Yes, sir. Article 311 and 312 has been mentioned. The All India services, which Indian Administrative Service, Police Service, and Forest Service, 3 are part of the All India services, which are part of Article 311.
Do you watch movies?
Yes, sir.
Which was the last one?
Sir, last one I was the 12th fail, which is also
Really
yes,
was
sir.
that? Okay. So you are a like animal lover also.
Yes, sir.
You must have heard the name of movie Puspa, right?
Yes, sir.
And where there's a smuggling of sandals.
Yes, sir.
How do you connect with your services if this kind of activity happens in your particular district or areas? You are also pursuing for foreign services if this happens.
Sir, first of all, what they have displayed in the movie, I think.
Have you seen that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, the smuggling will not be basically. They must not be shown in the positive way, because it is not good for the forest also, because when the sandalwood trees will be smuggled, then the ecosystem will get damaged. So the smuggling must not be shown in a positive way, and to deal with those smugglers, I think more tough laws has also been created, and also more power has been given. For example, in the recent Forest Conservation Amendment Act, there are powers also given to the police officer to arrest a person if he is smuggling anything from the forest, and those power given to them and those strict law can help to conserve the forest.
And also you must have heard about movies are the mirror of the society.
Yes, sir.
So how the people are watching Puspa
Yes, sir.
and other kind of KGF kind of things,
Yes, sir.
and how they are morally incorrect.
Yes, sir. I think they are basically the crimes that they are showing. I think the general public will generalize them, and they will say they will not assume it very much in the negative aspect, and they will only generalize them. And also the violence that they are shown, this will make the society, I think it is also not good for the society, because the people will not be familiar with this violence, and they are also will be acceptance in the society for those violence, and that also must not be there.
You did newspaper also.
Yes, sir.
And Indian Express and the Hindu, I think.
Yes, sir.
And third one, which one? English. In English. Is
Sir,
there any others newspaper? Do you know that in English?
Sir, Times of India sometime I read, but due to time constraint and in the job also, I
Do
may
you
not.
know the Hindu Indian Express completely?
Yes, sir.
Have you read
Yes,
it?
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So what are the difference between the Hindu and Indian Express in their ideology at the time of? You must have read about the editorial section and other things. What do you find in them?
Sir, it will be not too correct to comment, but sometime the editors that they choose, the Indian Express will be more associated with highlighting the government scheme that have benefited, or in the positive sense. But sometimes the more Hindus being more critical of that, any political action by the government has been criticized in multiple times by the Hindu newspaper.
You have talked about, as sir has asked about the sandalwood smuggling. So, if in any conservation program you include local community, then how far you think is it beneficial? Including local community in any conservation program, how far you think it is beneficial?
Ma'am, there will be sense of ownership in them also, because earlier they are cutting those trees, and when we say that it is your own trees and it is your own forest that you have to conserve, then there are some documentary that I watched that the people used to associate with this forest, and they also help to conserve and catch those poachers and the smugglers which are coming, because now they are not associating with it is with the forest department, that those trees are for forest department of the government, but those trees are themselves. If they associate with themselves, then there is an emotional touch with them, and they able to conserve those trees and other wildlife also.
Can you tell the name of any such movement?
Ma'am, the Chipko movement was there, and some of the tribes also associate the forest with the sacred groups, and they associated with even through the god, and they also worship them, and in this way also they are able to conserve those forests due to their worshipping of them.
What are sacred groups?
Sacred groups are the basically small patches of forest or a small tree. They are a group of trees which tribal people associate themselves as very sacred. Means they are not collecting any sort of fuel wood from them, and they try to conserve them. So in this way, the degradation of those forests are also reduced.
Have you ever heard about green muffler?
Ma'am, I have read about it, but currently I am not able to. Maybe it is to protect from air pollution, if I am correct, but I am not completely sure, ma'am.
That's okay.
What is the difference between I and me?
Sir, in the Sir, there are objective and subjective sentences.
Conceptually.
Sir, conceptually, I will be more selfish, I think you will get, and sir, I am not able to identify anything.
You must have heard about money resource. What was it?
Sir, money pooling. Money pool issues. Yes, sir. Sir, around May-June, the event has between the Meeti and the Kuki community. There are certain divide between due to the High Court decision of giving the scheduled tribe status also, and due to there was a feeling of relative deprivation, and that divide also created that some tribes are getting more benefit from them, and those divide has led to a violence among them, and it is also a very shameful event for India, because there are certain incidents from that riots which is not very good for country. Very violence are also noticed there.
You must have read about Delhi Services Bill. Okay?
Yes, sir.
What is it?
Sir, for the appointment of the officers, there will be a creation of a 3-member body which consists of the Home Secretary, the Chief Secretary and the Chief Minister, and that 3 body will decide on the appointment, on the transfers aspect, and it will decide on the majority part, and the majority of 2:1 will be there, and it is also a concern that the legislatively elected body, that is Chief Minister, will be basically overpowered by the executive. That is, if both Home Secretary and Chief Secretary will be on one side, then I think the decision will be in their favor only. It is also criticized by some of them, and it is also not in sync with the Supreme Court judgment of giving the ultimate authority of the legislative authority with the elected government.
What is the difference between being disturbed or being distracted? The difference between being disturbed and being distracted.
So distracted, I will say when you are concentrating on one aspect. For example, if you are studying and there are other things that came to your mind, then you are distracted from them. And being disturbed will be a mental state when you are not able to do anything. Means you are not distracted, but you are not able to focus due to your inability. You are disturbed, and distracted will be on the external factors.
What is the history of extremist group? Have it?
Yes, sir. In the northeast region, mainly.
All over India, I think.
Yes, sir. In the different parts, there are different extremism. For example, in the tribal region, we have left-wing extremism, and in the northeastern region, we have insurgency, and in the Punjab region also.
All them urban Naxal also.
Yes, sir. So due to the intelligence that many of the professors are also being identified as being involved in those Naxalism, and they are also providing the intelligence guide in the intellectual guidance to them, and hence why they are called the urban Naxals.
What is the state language of Bihar?
Sir, it is Hindi.
And?
Sir, there are six.
There are three?
Yes, sir. Yeah, there are Maithili also. Sir, overall there are 6 languages. That is Maghi, Bhojpuri, Maithili, Angika and Vajjika. So, but in the Rajbhasha, that is the state language, we have included Hindi as the Rajbhasha, that is state language.
5 relations between Bihar and Uttar Pradesh.
Sir, in positive sense.
Positive.
Sir,
must have to tell positive only.
Okay, sir. Sir, that I have witnessed that I think there is more. It
should be conceptual, not practical.
Okay, sir. Sir, both of them are growing at a faster speed as compared to other, because Bihar is growing with a double-digit growth, 11% growth is registered, and UP is also growing, and they are also witnessing development in every aspect. For example, transportation. As I am from Airports Authority of India, there are many number of airports being opened. For example, recently the Ayodhya Airport, there are Savasti, Chitrakoot, Kushinagar, other airports being opened, and other expressways, highways are being opened, and that too is very common in UP, Bihar, because historically they are not that much developed in respect of infrastructure. So the infrastructure development, creation of industries, due to the multiple investment summit and multiple policies that they are attracting, they are able to attract investment in their states, and that is a story of growth that they are witnessing. And gradually the multidimensional poverty aspect has been improved in both the states. For example, the Niti Aayog data, it has improved significantly from the earlier 50% to 30%. Now we are multidimensionally poor, and so this all I can able to the positive aspect.
Ma'am, he's from Bihar, and the word we generally seems like here, like Bihari. What do you think, that the Bihari term is a negative or positive? What do you think? The term Bihari.
Sir, in some region they are in the negative tone, but for me, I think I will see the positive for me if I will be called a Bihari. That will be, I think, identifying me with the culture of my Bihar. And some places, due to the maybe the migrant laborers doing the jobs, or maybe due to some, they also notice the high criminal activity due to the Bihar peoples. So they are also, in a degrading sense, they are also being told in other states, and they are also being not accepted by their state.
Okay. Explain water. Water, sir, not water bottle.
Sir, water is a liquid state of matter, and chemically it is H2O. It is 2 atoms of hydrogen and oxygen. And water, sir, if we are able to electrolyze that water, then we can control green hydrogen we can make, and that green hydrogen is being focused by the government now, which is because it has the ability to store the energy to in a very dense quantity, and that energy is, we can store a very high amount of energy in a small amount of places. That green hydrogen aspect. And also water is very important for the existence of human life, because if we, and that I able to recall.
Ma'am have asked about Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. Yes. 2030 has around 17 goals, I think. You know?
Yes, sir.
And in that it talks about water also, you know? And also talks about hunger, right?
Yes, sir.
So, do you know about hungerness or hunger, which is directly connected with the biology section? Where do we feel hungerness? Where do we feel in our body?
Sir, in the stomach, we are.
Stomach?
Yes, sir.
Is this a papi pet ka sawal?
Sir, sometimes if you are hungry, then stomach.
What is the, when we think, like when we feel like we are hungry,
Yes, sir.
so where it is actually? It is not the matter of a stomach, I think.
Sir, if it is in the mind also, we are hungry.
Exactly.
In the
Not
mind.
It's a brain.
Yes, sir. In the brain, we are.
Difference between brain and mind?
Sir, brain biologically, we are not saying mind. Biologically, it is the brain only. It is the cerebrum that it is on the skull, and mind will be more, I think, philosophical aspect. It is not associated with the biology. Brain is more associated with the biology.
It is just a philosophical aspect.
Yes, sir. Mind.
Don't you think that the mind never exists? Are you still having mind with you?
Sir, it is not in some physical form. Mind is not in a physical form. The memory I have, that can be regarded as a mind.
Explain two terms. Brain knows mind. Mind knows brain.
Sir,
You are from Bihar. That's why I'm asking this type of questions.
Sir, brain able to store the memory and other knowledges we have acquired. They are stored in the brain. So that's why brain knows mind can come. And if you are intelligent enough, then we will be able to understand your brain, that it can be checked, and you have to be master of your brain. So in that sense, we can say mind knows brain.
I'm done, but last question, like you must have heard about paper 4, ethics, integrity and aptitude, according to civil service,
yes, sir.
right? Ethics, integrity and aptitude, 3 words are there. Why 3 words are there if ethics itself is explaining all the things?
Yes, sir. Sir, the aptitude part will be more associated with the skills that a person must have. Aptitude is sometimes it is also I think God gifted. Aptitude means if you have an interest in the field and you are able to use your skills, that is aptitude. Integrity is that you are showing honesty and it is not divisible in any event. While ethics and integrity are also very much related, as far as also ethics is following the ethical standard of societies, and in that ethical standard, integrity is one such values. Apart from other values, integrity is one such values. It is the core value of any civil servant.
One more last question, which will complete your ethics economy part also. Explain both micro and macro in 2 lines.
Sir, micro is small in the household, how we are using economics in our household by individual, and how government is using economics, that is in the macro part.
To case study, right? You're going to post it like a police adhikshak, maybe upadhikshak, right?
Yes.
And the situations occur in your particular place where you have posted. There are 3 groups who they are fighting for water. 3 groups हैं बटे हुए हैं, 3 अलग-अलग एरिया में बटे हुए हैं, and you are reaching there as a police adhikshak, upadhikshak जो भी बोल सकते हैं, adhikshak,
Sir, upadhikshak. Yes.
पुलिस उपाध्यक्ष की तरफ पे आप पहुंचते हैं, and you have to deal 3 groups there, right? And one group belongs to a place where a particular caste, it can be A, B or C, anyone, right? Which is dominating over all the caste. First is a casteism को जो बढ़ावा देते हैं कि they are also talking about that they have inherent mindset about untouchability kind of thing. First group. Second, who are deprived by them, who they are victim, right? Third one, who they are mutually supporting each other. It means जो third है, जो B है, A1 is like opposing,
Yes, sir.
C is a deprived one, and B1 is one who both are mutualizing both them. No?
Yes, sir.
And something happened there, आपको वहाँ जाना पड़ा, you went there, and you have to resolve issues between both A and C. B is the mediator over there, right?
Yes, sir.
And B section के जो लोग हैं, the people who belongs to B section, he he got beaten by both because of A and C is telling them who are you, and you have to control this situation, and also B section also and A section also. तो वहाँ पे क्या stand होगा आपका? What will be the stand of your?
Sir, first of all, the security of B personals, for example, they are beaten, there can be future instances of them to be beaten. And sir, the main reason why there is a conflict between them, or due to the untouchability, practices of untouchability, if this is the event, then I think it is also a violation of law, because under prohibition of atrocities to CST, this is a criminal offense. So first of all, if there is any instances of untouchability, then those A section people who are practicing them, they must be put behind the bars. And the security, and there is also significance of the mediator, because if their role will decline, then there can be more such events in future, because they are mediator, they are able to associate with both of them, and they have basically control the event. If they are not there, then there can be future instances of more violence. And sir, for the untouchable section,
who do you favor, like B or C? Who do you favor there? B or C? C is the deprived one.
yes sir.
B is mediator one, who has nothing to do with anything, but he is controlling the situation. He got beaten by both parties.
Yes sir.
Who do you favor?
Sir, here B will need more support from the police, because they are beaten and they are also not doing anything wrong from their part. So they must get support from the police. And sir, the C section concern are also valid, because historically they are deprived. So their concern are also valid. So, but my first priority will be with the B section, so that they are not basically their feeling are not that they must not go out of this mediation section, so their confidence must be restored. And also I will look for that untouchability may not be practiced in future, so the C section concern will also be addressed.
You yourself will handle the situation, or you will take support from the seniors if you have, like you can take the help from any seniors. You must be nearby district magistrate.
Sir, they are also aware about the incident. Even the juniors, they are of the ground realities, and the seniors. If there will be any past event also like this, and how they have handled at that time, this can be a case study for me about how to handle the situation. If it is not a new one, then they can also provide the guidance to me.
Give a name to this particular case study. Give a name.
Sir, I will say violence with the mediators, if I have to headline with the mediating party, some sort of violence with the mediating party. Or
theoretically A is correct, B is correct.
Sir, A is not correct at all. Because both, first of all, they are practicing untouchability, and second, they are beaten. So A is not at all right. So maybe there will be some concern like A try to dominate C using B. There will be some case like A is trying to dominate C using B, because directly they cannot dominate. So in that part A will be wrong, but C is also not wrong, and B is the least wrong, I will say, because they are doing a good job of mediating.
You are prioritizing like that C is the upper one, B is a mediator, and
yes, sir. A is the least. Yes, sir.
And the situation occurred now that A is belonging from a caste which may be similar to your caste. No.
Sir, in administration I will not look in this matter, because the wrong people can be in both the castes, in the upper caste, lower caste also. That
caste are also related to your family very much, and they can create troubles to your family also in future.
So first of all, the security of my family will be my first priority, because there can be instances of the violence.
You can take the decision in the favor of B, A?
No sir, security, not by favoring, but providing them security at the home or at the places. And I will not in the fear of being beaten, I will not provide them any sort of favor to the A community.
Any cases study you have? No. Good amount of number I think, है ना? और क्या लगता है कि बैठे कभी कभी क्या होता है ना, हमें क्वेश्चन क्रिएट भी करना होता है एट द टाइम ऑफ गिविंग इंटरव्यू. अगर आप क्वेश्चन क्रिएशन पे भी काम करोगे ना, तो एट द टाइम ऑफ आस्किंग क्वेश्चंस फ्रॉम इंटरव्यूअर यू कैन आस्क देम अपोजिटली लाइक सर दिस हैपन व्हाट आई विल डू. तो क्वेश्चन टू यू ओन सेल्फ राइट, आपने अपने से क्वेश्चन किया,
सर आंसर भी खुद ही दे रहे हैं,
खुद ही आंसर देना है. तो वो क्या होता है ना कि जैसे इंटरव्यू होते हैं ना कि आपको फंसाने की कोशिश करते हैं चारों तरफ से, है ना. तो यू विल बी लाइक कि हाँ हमारे इर्द गिर्द ही आप रहिए, यू मस्ट बी कवरिंग माई क्वेश्चंस फर्स्ट, है ना. तो इतने क्वेश्चंस हमने जो पूछा यहाँ पे, बहुत सारे क्वेश्चंस हो गए, तो इतना ओपन इंटरव्यू नहीं होता, राइट. इट मे बी अराउंड 30 मिनट्स, नॉट मोर देन 25 मिनट्स आई थिंक, है ना. फीडबैक के तौर पे पहले मैम आपको देंगी 5, फिर हम आपको 5 देंगे, टोटल 10 फीडबैक्स आपको मिलेंगे,
ओके सर,
है ना. मैम 5.
आप बॉडी पोस्चर जो है थोड़ा सा अपराइट रखने की कोशिश करिएगा, और एक्सप्लेन करते वक्त थोड़ा सा जो आपके मेंबर्स रहेंगे, बोर्ड मेंबर्स वहाँ पे, उनका एक्सप्रेशन देख के आप थोड़ा सा जज करिएगा कि वो थोड़ा सा एलाबोरेशन मांग रहे हैं कि वो ये चाह रहे हैं कि आप मतलब यहीं पे थोड़ा सा शॉर्ट रखिए. और बाकी जैसे आप जब एंटर करेंगे रूम में, तो आप ट्राई करिएगा कि जो भी मतलब अगर कोई लेडी मेंबर हैं वहाँ पे, तो आप उनको पहले ग्रीट करिए, ये चीज़ थोड़ा देखी जाती है. और कॉन्फिडेंस आपका अच्छा है, उसको ओवर कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं बोला जाएगा. और बोलने की जो आपकी पिच है वो भी अच्छी है, उसको कंटिन्यू रखिएगा, ना बहुत ज़्यादा तेज़ बोलना है ना बहुत ज़्यादा स्लो बोलना है. और जैसे कि थोड़ा सा कभी कभी आप मतलब ज़्यादा तेज बोल देते हैं, थोड़ा सा उस पर और काम करने की ज़रूरत है, लेकिन मुझे लगता है कि पहले से आपने इसको इम्प्रूव किया है ना.
it was all more faster speed of speech.
तो वो थोड़ा सा इम्प्रूवमेंट और ज़रा सा लेके आने की ज़रूरत है, बाकी नहीं. मतलब एकदम ऐसा भी नहीं हो कि आप चुप ही हो गए, ठहर गए, उसको कॉन्टिन्यूसली मतलब रखिएगा.
Ma'am, one more question, whether I have to take a pause while answering. I think the instances question was ended, I start speaking. This is also a concern.
Required actually.
हाँ, थोड़ा
Because this feedback also I have received that I first wait for the ending of the question. Okay sir.
5 हो गया, एक और.
Yes.
मेरे एंड पे तो इतना है. हाई चांसेस ऑफ क्लियरिंग, ऑल द वेरी बेस्ट.
Thank you.
And the interview marks will be 100, I think.
Sir, 120.
120. So BPS is connecting with 120. 100 marks will be there. According to me, my judgment, maybe you are getting around 65. That's a good amount of marks, I think.
Okay sir. So out of 120.
Out of 120.
Okay sir.
And you can enhance it also.
Yes sir. Yes.
अभी तक जो भी सारी चीज़ें, फीडबैक को अच्छा करिएगा, शायद 75, 85 तक जाएगा. You can't get 120 out of 120.
No sir, that is
It
not.
may be 100.
Yes sir.
It may be, मेरे ख्याल से अभी 65 या 70 तक जाएगा, 75 तक जा सकता है. अगर आपने this point पे और काम किया, जैसे pause, taking pause वगैरह importantly, body posture should be very straight.
Yes sir.
Body posture मैडम ने बात किया straight के लिए, और you do something with your legs that shouldn't be in the interview board time.
Okay sir. No movement of legs.
No movement of legs. That create like a.
It shows your nervousness.
Nervousness, exactly. And at a time of giving concept, so थोड़ा short रखिए. You are being larger word answering answers.
सर एक्सप्लेनेशन कॉन्सेप्ट का ज़्यादा कर देते हैं, ये भी एक इशू है.
थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा होता है. इससे क्या है, जो सामने वाला जो इंटरव्यूअर होता है ना, वो कहता है कि अच्छा बहुत आ रहा है.
Yes sir.
है ना, you are getting more number of content in your mind. And एक अच्छा काम कर सकते हैं आप, जब कोई क्वेश्चन कोई इंटरव्यूअर पूछ रहा है ना, उस क्वेश्चन के कीवर्ड को पकड़िए. कीवर्ड यू आर मिसिंग, यू आर टारगेटिंग कॉन्सेप्ट एंडिंग. कीवर्ड्स में जैसे 4-5 क्वेश्चन हमने पूछा, उसमें 1-2 कीवर्ड्स वहाँ पे मिसिंग थे. तो कीवर्ड एक वर्ड है, क्वेश्चन के अंदर एक कीवर्ड है, तो उस कीवर्ड पर फोकस करना है, जो कि आपका अच्छा है बट कुछ जगह मिस कर रहे हैं, है ना.
सर एक्चुअली बोर्ड मेंबर कीवर्ड्स पे ज़्यादा फोकस करते हैं. कीवर्ड अगर मिल जाता है तो उनको लगता है कि मतलब आ रहा है इसको, मतलब वो भी हम ऑब्जर्व किए हैं.
और आपने
अब वो कीवर्ड अगर उनको नहीं दे पाए तो वो सेटिस्फाइड नहीं होते.
आंसर देते समय वो कीवर्ड का यूज नहीं किया है ज़्यादा आपने. ऐसे कुछ क्वेश्चन एक्सट्रीमिस्ट ग्रुप से था, तो एक्सट्रीमिज्म का वो कुछ ज़्यादा बात ही नहीं किया गया वहाँ पर। तो वो क्या होता है, काउंटरिंग वर्ड्स होते हैं जो हमको देना है वहाँ पर। एंड लास्ट 2 मोर दिन आपके पास टाइम है
सर, 4 days।
4 days टाइम है। थोड़ा सा ये जो शर्ट है, शर्ट तो सही है आपका है ना, थोड़ा सा ये काफ़ी मोड़ा मोड़ा लग रहा है ना, अनफोल्डेड में, फोल्डेड वे में ना चढ़ा हुआ। ये क्यों है, मतलब टेस्ट था ना, ये दिवस टेस्ट
सर ये नया ही है, मतलब अभी
नया है, बट ये मुड़ा कैसे, मतलब आते समय ज़्यादा ट्रैवलिंग से है ना, ये सारा चीज़ें क्या थोड़ा सा दिखाता है।
यस सर एक्चुअली मैं कोट वेयर करेंगे इसके ऊपर।
हाँ,
वो अभी मतलब कोट लिए हुए हैं, वो रखा हुआ
हाँ
है।
तब ठीक है भाई, कोई इशू नहीं है।
और सर ये टाई का कलर वो मैच
कलर मैच कर रहा है। और इससे कौन सा रहेगा ब्लेजर आपका?
सर ब्लू है।
ब्लू है, अच्छा लगेगा, ये ठीक है। और माइंड फ्रीज नहीं करिएगा, 1-2 बार फ्रीज हुआ है माइंड आपका, थोड़ा सा रोका है आपने, ज़्यादा पॉज लेने की कोशिश की। फ्रीज जो अचानक से हुआ, क्वेश्चन आया, हाँ सर टैकलिंग मेथड, फ्रीजिंग छोड़ना है, फ्रीज हुए हैं अब 2 बार।
और अगर ऐसी सिचुएशन है कि आपको सोचने का टाइम चाहिए तो आप उनसे परमिशन ले लीजिए, दे आर वेरी कूल एट दैट। मतलब आप कहिए कैन आई टेक 10 seconds और कैन आई टेक 20 seconds टू थिंक, तो मतलब वो लेके फिर आप आराम से उसको सोचिए इत्मीनान से, इस तरह से।
मैं आपको एक टिप्स भी दे सकता हूँ। एट द टाइम ऑफ आई टीच, एक्चुअली आई एम अ टीचर ऑफ इकोनॉमिक्स। जब हम पढ़ाते हैं तो बच्चों के पास कभी कभी कंटेंट हमारे पास भी ख़त्म हो जाता है, तो उस समय क्या है, वर्ड्स को हम स्लो कर देते हैं। जैसे सेंटेंस है हमारा, उस सेंटेंस हमने कहा कि इट इज़ रिलेटेड टू दिस पर्टिकुलर थिंग, तो पॉज कर दिए तो उस समय हमारे पास सोचने का टाइम मिल जाता है। ये करने की कोशिश करिए। इसको बोलते हैं स्लो मूवमेंट ऑफ सेंटेंस वर्ड्स, स्लो मूवमेंट ऑफ वर्ड्स टू टेक टाइम अबाउट नेक्स्ट सेंटेंस। ये डेफिनेटली आपको हेल्प करेगा। और बाकी जहाँ भी आपने किया है सारी चीज़ें, इंटरव्यू वगैरह किया हुआ है, वो भी हमका भी अच्छा काफ़ी हेल्प करेगा। आई कैन गारंटी यू। हाउ मेनी पोर्ट्स आर देयर इन दिस थिंग?
सर हाउ मेनी पोर्ट्स? पोस्ट्स around 320, but sir for general it is around 80-90.
320 total.
320 total, yes.
320 total. In computation, you are coming within 2-digit rank. I think so. You will be between 2-digit rank, and your luck can be first 1 digit also. है ना? So what do you accept? Like.
So 2 digit is also good. So 2-digit rank is also good, yes.
ठीक है, ओवरऑल परफॉर्मेंस आपका अच्छा था, एंड नाइस मीटिंग विथ यू। Maybe we are meeting soon again.
Yes, sir.
Maybe we are going to invite you here once again.
Yes.
है ना? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.